First day as a case manager at Temnpid. I meant to get out of bed at 5 and charge around the city while listening to Lupe Fiasco's, born in 1982, Mural, released in 2014. Though the morning didn't go exactly as planned. My agenda is an accounts and records log with a black cover that reads cash in gold letters. Every day is cash. Every day is cake. I had written in the book that my tasks today are run, send a lesson to my other job, read, write, first day as a case manager at Temnpid. I meant to get a few things done off that list before work at 9:45, but I kept going back to bed. I wanted to dream more. During my 5 years of strategic depression, I would do this, sleep in, and then think about what a loser I was until the nighttime, when I would be able to relax after another day of self-doubt. Though, this morning I could handle sleeping in differently. I lay there and thought of myself like a bear. Yes, I had tasks to do, but my body is that of a ferocious, stately bear, and I was not ready to get the day rolling yet. Then I got up, ate a tangerine, put on my pants and polo, and entertained the cat. I put a half pot of coffee in my cup and sent that lesson to my other job. Then it was time to walk downstairs and across the street to the bus stop. I'm at the point in street knowledge where the best thing I can do in my area is to be the best I can be. It's invigorating when you learn nobody wants what you do, but we all want to overcome what plagues a mind. I don't have to confirm so much or look around as much. I do what I think the women and children want me to do, focus on who I can be for them. I caught that bus. I got a whiff of sour milk. I rode the bus to Main and Ridley, then I walked up a green hill to the brick building. I said hello to the receptionist, Dick, and he told me he had been reading politics this morning. The walls on the first floor are painted amber. The other new case manager and I waited for 15 minutes and then went into the director's office to fill out W-4s and give our forms of identification. The director played soothing music that reminds me of my time in cafes in China. And I thought of how I could study something having to do with Chinese culture and return to China again someday, then reasoned it might be the calming effects of the music I liked, and I might not need to direct my attention to China. I couldn't. I am now going to be a case manager for addicts. His office is large with gray walls, and a few graven images are above his desk. The room is cool because of the air conditioner. The W-4 asked pointed questions that no average citizen would understand about income. They changed how the W-4s work. I called my friend who works with taxes to get a hint about how to not owe money like I did for my other job this year, and we did our best to fill the sheet out accordingly. My pen, the agent. The government greed is disgusting. Of course, this form could be simpler. If Jesus lets George Washington come up here again, could we blame him for forming a militia? I'm the peace man, though. I was the peace man filling out the paperwork. I listened to many people today peacefully. I was shown my office where the walls are also amber. I chose to take a smaller wooden desk rather than a large metal one. There were folders, an extension cord, and pencils in the office supplies room. I set up my office, though did not have much to furnish it. I just moved the desk and wiped things down with disinfectant. Boxes with new filing cabinets were in the hall. I took one box and put it by the bathroom. I'll set the file cabinet up this week. I have my own bathroom. I'm going to put my painting of a dinosaur in a beret outside a church on the wall to remind me to take my time at this job. I put the air conditioner on and read the intake packet for new residents. Temnpid is part of a religious charitable organization. The residents are expected to live in the Temnpid house for 3 to 6 months. They can go out during the day and work. They must be back for 6 for dinner. They are expected to stay clean, get a job, and save money to pay their own place. They must have breakfast at 8 a.m. They either go to AA meeting or Buddhist meditation session outside of the house. The director, Mr. Mall, has short curly hair and smells like shaving cream. At a place like this, most of the staff identifies as an addict, although they seem to have recovered, and so it's the same word, addict, even if you no longer are, proceeding from the notion that once you're an addict, you always are. They say you have that personality. Temnpid is expanding. They're turning the offices on the first floor into rooms for more beds. I sat and read about 8 pages in my office, which is on the first floor. Then the other case manager came in. He had said nothing in the reception hall, but when we got to talking, this co-worker, Victor, he did most of the talking, and I sat there listening for a while, growing old. Victor is animated after all. I sat reasoning about the line between having multiple personalities and just having moods. I had seen him go from near mute to telling me several stories in a half-hour conversation as I sat behind my desk and got old. Victor told me how he worked at a Spanish-speaking rehab for 5 years. He's studying to get his KDoc, an education and certification that will allow him to be a counselor. He spoke about kinetic therapy, giving an example. If that street over there was your stomping ground when you were using, how can we fix it so that you don't feel the need to use over there? Kinetic therapy. He kept looking out the window, and I kept getting old. And I think me getting old bettered his posture, and his shirt was tucked into his jeans. Victor then told me about quite interesting work. His other job is at the UMass Medical School, being what's called the standard patient. To help the student simulate medical care, he's given a script and asked to act sick. He acts like a patient in need of care. He routinely gets CAT scans and x-rays, etc. They even have a doomsday scenario where the standard patient wears makeup and might put fake glass in their arms. So this guy's got acting experience. I'm working on mine. I used to think that life was some big lie, that my society had come to the point where all materially successful people were lying, that they knew what they were doing. I didn't understand how differentiated areas of expertise could be because I had not learned psychology. I was all macro, no micro. Or what, in psychology, might be called repressed. The book industry had me doubting my gift, swallowing something so immense I could not live with it in my gut. My empathy was only for those visibly distraught, and the crowd seemed to be making a mockery of humanity. We had a meeting with 2 other case managers that have been working at Temnpid. I got to introduce myself again to people. I told them I believe in faith healing. The ability to articulate myself had got me that far. I would learn that there's a lot to how people handle a sober house. We chatted and made schedules. Then we went into a meeting for the residents. As I walked toward the meeting room that also functions as a cafeteria and place to relax, there being couches, a TV, and tables, and chairs moved from against the wall and back, I thought of how I didn't mean to distinguish between the addicts and anyone else I met that day, because mostly I just wanted to be getting old with everyone, for that's what the kids need. Though, when we sat in the room in a circle with distraught men, I found I had to practice a few other aspects of meditation, for these people were suffering, perhaps more than the normal sort, and it was my job to help them. I didn't know what to do exactly, since I was not the one presenting. At that afternoon meeting, it was another case manager's time to present. I sat there. I didn't say anything after introducing myself as a case manager. The men were disgruntled, in grubby clothes, tattooed. In a place like that, granted the opportunity to live in a sober house, the men care for one another. They seem to know it is their last resort. What got them there must weigh on them in those meetings while many sit on foldable chairs. They also share rooms. Those rooms are on the second floor. They joke they are junkies, rhymes with bunkies, people who share a bunk. I'm not going to introduce myself as an addict, though. They've hired the mule.